Hello world, Monte Coleman IES Coaching. Today we're going to start our new series on how to work with various personality types. When I say male, it could go male or female. I'm just using the usual scientific way it's presented. So we're going to talk about the alpha male, the sigma male, and the beta male. I want to start with the best of all, the sigma. I consider the sigma, and I like sigma males. Sigma male is just like the alpha male. It's a leadership, dominance, power-based mentality. The difference between a sigma and alpha are primarily the alpha male is more overtly aggressive and also demands more public praise. I mean, the alpha wants to be crowned king. The sigma wants power, but does not necessarily need a crown. So, first we're going to talk about having a sigma as a leader. So how do you follow a sigma? How do you work under a sigma? So first thing with a sigma, working under a sigma, understand that sigma males are performance based, meaning that they don't like praise or brown nosing. They like results. So they like to see that as a staff member or an employee that you achieve the goals you are assigned to them. Sigma males can be considered cold-blooded because they're not very comfortable or don't really tolerate excuses. They want things to be done and be done efficiently. They're open to suggestions and giving help, but at the end of the day, they are outcome-based. They expect outcomes to be made. A sigma male hates to have to micromanage those under them. They like to give goals as assignments, not step-by-step instruction. So if you work for a sigma male as a boss or supervisor and you find that your relationship is strained, it may be that you require too much instruction for them for their comfort zone. So when you work for a sigma male, you want to be a person who can take an assignment and kind of be independent with it. A sigma male hates public praise. They don't like to be elevated. Unlike the alpha, they don't need their ego rubbed. They're goal-oriented. But just like an alpha, they don't need the praise, but challenging a sigma in either status, authority, or power can be detrimental in a role of being a subordinate to a sigma, because just like the alpha, they do have an ego-driven, power-hungry piece, but the power is more subdued, meaning that they don't need the ego to be boosted, but definitely need the ego to be protected. So when you're working for a supervisor or boss who's a sigma male, be mindful when giving them advice. Advice should come almost in a suggestive way that makes them feel as though they're the ones coming up with the new idea. Just like an alpha, you don't ever want to challenge a sigma's train of thought overtly, because it can trigger a hostile reaction or a issue with your relationship. Show your value to a sigma. Sigma male as a leader and as a supervisor and a business owner want to see value. They don't care about camaraderie. They're not really social, so they don't look for social cues or social comfortability. They care more about you providing value to the team than anything else. Advise, never contradict. Just like the alpha, don't challenge a sigma. Never go against a sigma male when they're in a position of power. They will attempt to crush you. So this is some of the characteristics or some of the things you need to understand when working under a sigma. One, they're performance-based. Brown nose is unnecessary and will get you nowhere. They value independence. Be a person who can get assignments done with very little micromanaging, because they hate the micromanage. They're goal-oriented. They want to see the goal met. They don't care how you get there. They don't feel the need to control your every movement. Protect their ego. Never ever outshine a sigma. Shine, but unlike alpha, where you can't show any type of ability past them, you can shine around a sigma, but your shine has to add to their power. Meaning that if your supervisor is a sigma, your advancement in the company has to also help them advance for you not to be considered a threat. Show value. Sigmas like for people to have value on their team. And always advise, never contradict. IES coaching is or can provide services where we can help coach you in how to navigate working for a Sigma or an Alpha or even with a Beta. Inbox me if you're struggling with this particular topic of dealing with a hard to work with supervisor because he may be an Alpha or a Sigma. We're going to help you discover their personality type and what's the best strategy to improve your working relationship and your career in that type of environment. So next is, that was if you're the subordinate to the Sigma. Now, what if you're the leader and they're your subordinate? One, with a Sigma under you, if you want a successful relationship, even though you have the power of being the person that they report to or they're your direct report, you never, ever, 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 ever dictate. You coach a Sigma. Given Sigmas a dictatorship type of environment, they will leave, be disgruntled, or you will break them and not benefit from the skill set they bring. You want to coach. You always be encouraging and let them be independent and just coach and guide them to be where you want them to be. They don't respond well to authority, just like an Alpha does it, and they don't respond well to being threatened. Never micromanage a Sigma. Just like a Sigma hates to micromanage others, they hate to be micromanaged themselves. When you deal with a Sigma as a subordinate, you want to give them instructions as to what your goal is, the outcome. What do you want it to end? What do you want it to look like and end? And allow them the room to be independent and creative in that environment. When you give critique to a Sigma, just like the Alpha, they have a fragile ego. Unlike the Alpha male, they don't need you to praise them, but they definitely are weak for, or their weakness is criticism. So when criticizing a Sigma, you want to make sure you're outcome based. You want to talk about, how can things be better. So don't focus so much on what was done. Focus more on what could be done better. On that same thing with a Sigma, it's very important to give them a supervisor sandwich. You want to give something they're good at, praise, the critique, how it can be better, and praise again. It's called a supervisor sandwich. Praise, critique, praise. Also, make sure you separate the issue that needs to be corrected from them. So if a Sigma didn't meet a deadline, don't focus on you didn't meet the deadline. Focus on the deadline wasn't met. Because a Sigma, just like an Alpha, has a very fragile ego. Allow a Sigma to self-correct. If you're supervising a Sigma male, you definitely want to tell them about the issue. Tell them about the issue at hand, where the error was, and allow them to self-correct. Give them the freedom to figure out and manage themselves. You can coach them through the process, but allow them to self-correct. Creativity is a must for a Sigma. When you're supervising a Sigma, you must allow them as much creative freedom as the job allows. This will benefit from their personality. Sigmas are very creative. They're very intuitive. They're very able to come up and think out the box. If you allow them to do so, you'll benefit. If you restrict them, you'll stifle them and break them. You want to mentor a Sigma, not give directives and orders. Meaning you want to cultivate a Sigma into naturally working the way or with the policies of your various organizations or companies. Meaning you don't want to say, don't do this, do that. You want to mentor them into a position where they naturally respond to the culture and the policies of your said company. So that's how you want to have a Sigma as a subordinate. Having a Sigma as a peer. I think Sigmas work best in this environment. Even though Sigmas are leaders, and in that leadership role, they definitely thrive. But just like Alphas, the ego sometimes can get in the way. But Sigmas make for great leaders. They're born and natural leaders. And they strive for that. In a peer situation, either a coworker or a business partner, one thing about them you want to make sure is as a partner you bring value. Sigmas are very stern on that. A Sigma male will not partner with anyone who doesn't bring equal value to a situation. And if you don't bring equal value to a situation, they will tend to crush you or treat you less than. So with a Sigma male, make sure you bring value. Bring your own ideas. Sigma males do not respect having to be the sole provider of solutions in a partnership. Be honest and reliable. Once you cross a Sigma, just like once you cross the Alpha, you are done. the relationship is finished. You have your own ideas, but be open. The reason why this is so important, just like the alpha male, sigma male is a little egotistical. So you want to have your own ideas, but also be open to hear theirs. Be clear. Sigma males hate ambiguity. They hate when people speak around bushes. They hate when things are not clear. The quickest way to agitate a sigma is to beat around the bush. It's the reverse of an alpha. Alpha is like you beating around the bush because they interpret that as you being afraid of them and they like the power they get from it. A sigma differs. A sigma hates to be in the dark, so a sigma hates for you to speak in riddles or be around the bush. When you speak to a sigma as a peer, be clear. Compete, but don't be a threat. So a sigma likes a good competition, but they don't like threats. They don't like rivals. They tend to attack and destroy rivals. So if you ever want to have a partnership with a sigma, it's okay to compete, but never make yourself a threat. So once again, just dealing with this topic, trying to give you guys a little taste of it. IES coaching, again, we definitely coach on how to work with sigma males as a supervisor to a sigma male, as a subordinate to a sigma male, and as a peer or partner with a sigma male. Please reach out, inbox me if you're having trouble at work, trouble in your business, trouble in a contract negotiation, and you realize that you're dealing with a sigma male. And if you don't know what a sigma male really makes up or what's the signs of a sigma male, there are a ton of videos on YouTube and a ton of material you can buy to read up on it. But once again, Monte Coma IES Coaching, I hope I gave you some good pointers for how to better manage working with a sigma male. Thank you.